Hi, everyone, and welcome to LSO4 Labor in America, spring of 2020. And if you're taking this class because, well, you needed a course and you think this might be easy, well, it's not going to be so difficult if you read, if you do the assignments, which is only one, if you do the discussions and you do the quizzes, and you read everything and view everything that's put on the page. You should do fine. One of the most important things, I hope, for union members or working people who are actually taking the class is that you are really going to be educated into what is going on in America at this time and what we're losing and what our ancestors, our grandparents, great-grandparents, even our parents, and some of you have done to be able to guarantee workers the right to a good life, the American dream. So reading right from the first page, I want to say that this class will show you why and how unions were formed, how they operate, and give you an understanding how corporate, legal, and governmental groups have gained control and taken what was fought for and won for by our ancestors, immigrants of yesterdays. With this knowledge, I'm hoping that you will be prepared as a worker, a voter, and an American. We have to ensure, once again, we will be able to live the American dream. Now, one of the issues, there's an old movie that you probably can't find anymore, put out by the ILGWU, the International Ladies Garment Workers Union, back in the 40s. And that movie ends with an old man saying, every generation has to start all over again. Now, those of you that are in the class, this is a pro-union, pro-worker, equality-oriented class. So, if this is not what you want, if you're looking for a business class that's going to help you oppress or learn how to manipulate workers, you need to take another class. Otherwise, we're going to have some interesting discussions. Now, the first thing I want you to do is get to your syllabus. And I'm looking for that too, as I say that to you, so that we can go through the syllabus. There's a couple other things I wanted to really stress before we get on the syllabus. I made myself a list. So I am Gosha Maffei. I have been teaching labor studies for 3 or 4 decades in a couple of different states. I am from New Jersey, so I may talk a little bit like an East Coaster, still after being gone for more years than I was. So it's really important. I want to get to these issues so that you understand what you are going to be looking into. The book that you're going to be reading is Runaway Inequality, and it is going to talk to you and it's going to demonstrate with lots and lots of charts. And you need to watch and look at those charts to be able to answer a lot of the discussions. So it's going to have lots of charts demonstrating where America, that used to be the leading country in the world, economically, for freedom, leading in education, all the benefits that everybody in the world wants to come to America for, is no longer in those places. One factor that really blew me away, because I've traveled a lot, one factor is we are the lowest on all the countries that have been surveyed, which is over 50, or I should say we're not the lowest, we are the highest in prison population. We have more people in prison in the United States than some of the worst dictatorships in the world. So that's just one thing that has changed in the last 40 years. So there's a lot of things that have changed that happen so slowly, and you will maybe see me write or hear me say again, we are the frog that people have often talked about. You put the frog in a pot of water, and the frog is happy. It's jumping around, it's swimming, and then you turn the flame on, and you put it on low. And the frog is just getting a little warm and it's still fine and it's jumping. But as the water comes to boiling, where we are in the United States right now, the frog begins to realize it's being murdered. And our American dream, our American country, our democracy is being torn apart. So in this class, you will learn the facts for that. It's not just a MSNBC. It's not just some radical teacher saying something to you. You will have facts. You will be able to back it up. And hopefully that will get you to vote, get all your friends to vote, and make sure we can get this country back. So that's just the introduction of getting to know your teacher, your instructor, your professor, Gosha Maffei. And that's me. So that's why it's really important you're in this class. So you may have taken it for just the credits, but you're going to learn what you need to know in order to be protected by our Constitution, to have a good working life, and to learn how to get better benefits. So, as you can see, I want to also stress, because a lot of people get shocked by this, when you go on the page, when you sign in and you do your work, I get notification. It is registered. If you haven't read the book 1984, you should get it and read it, because that's what's been happening for the last 20 years. 1984, Big Brother's watching all the time. So whenever you log in, I know you logged in, but you don't get credit for logging in for your attendance unless you do the work that week. And the first week, by the government of our college, you must complete all the work the first week that is assigned in order to stay in the class. So that is not my policy, although I think it's a great policy. So you must complete the work. If you do not complete the work, you will be dropped. So, okay, now we can move on to everything that's in this class is worth reading, and you should watch every video. None of the videos that I put on here are long, but you have to watch every single one because they will be in the discussion points. All right, so there's going to be on here, on the syllabus, I tell you what's going to happen week 1, week 2, all the way through. Some of them even have all the YouTubes on it. I'm scrolling down now to let you know that how you're going to be graded and what's happening on what pages. But I'm looking. So you're going to have 14 quizzes. So there's 17 weeks. So you're going to have 14 quizzes. Those are not difficult, and you will get a second chance, but you must do the quizzes. There will be 6 discussion points. Those discussion points will be things where I put up a question or statement, and you have to use from your personal information and the information given in the class on the YouTubes and in the readings with the charts to back up your points. Then on the discussions, you must absolutely, to get all the credit, respond to 2 other people. Now that puts me to another point that is really important. And that other point is be kind when you respond. If you disagree, write why you disagree and give your counterpoints. Do not, I shouldn't have to say this, let's be kind. Don't dismiss anyone. Don't talk down to anyone. Don't in any way try to belittle anyone. Get your ego out of the way, listen through reading, and have a good response. That's it. That's all there is to it. There'll be a midterm, there'll be a final, and there'll also be vocabulary almost every single week. So you will be getting vocabulary words. I think there's a total of 40 vocabulary words. You must know those vocabulary words for the quizzes. You must know them to understand what you're reading and what's being said in the YouTubes. Okay, we got that one done. Good. So the most important thing is do the work. I will be setting up appointment times for office hours. They will be times for you to sign in. There'll only be maybe 2 nights a week that I will do office hours. And I don't even know if I'm going to do it 2 times a week, but 1 time a week, but I'll give a couple different appointment times you can sign up for. Office hours are not mandatory. And you will also send me an email. And through sending me an email, I will respond usually within 24 hours, but it might be 48 at the most. So if you have questions, send me an email. Ask to have an office hour. We can also do video conferencing. There's a lot of different things we can do. And if necessary, even a telephone call. So please follow the instructions, read everything, watch everything, open up your minds, bring your personal experience. A lot of times in these classes, it's important to talk to your parents, your grandparents, and I don't care how old you are. If you're 19 or 60, everybody has somebody in their life that's been a working person. Ask them about what's gone on for them. And if you're a union member, and you can ask about the union benefits and share that when you do the responses to the discussions, you will be helping people, and you will be learning more about your own union. If you have a union, you need to have your contract. You need to read your contract. And if you have questions, ask me or your union representative. Anyway, this is an exciting class for me. I've been teaching labor education for decades. I've worked for several unions, as you will read in the intro. And working people, working people are so important. And working people, it doesn't matter what your gender identification is. It doesn't matter your ethnic identification. It doesn't matter the language you speak. If you're a worker, you've built this country and you continue to build this country. It was not built by the wealthy and the landowning. So you've done it. You're going to learn some more about it. And I'm excited. I always love, especially when we get really good discussions and good questions. And I will, if the questions are good enough and it's something that hasn't been addressed in the classes, I will then do a video and send it out to everyone. So welcome everyone to 2020. This is a big year. This is a really big year. So welcome everyone to Labor Studies, Labor in America, Spring 2020. I look forward to many good discussions and you learning and me learning. Ciao.